Hi, this is Todd Hicks from Hicks Board Games. I'm here to tell you about a new game called Conflicting Orders. I made this game with my design partner Jeremy Lowndes from Arctech Games. Conflicting Orders is a shared resource game where each of the players will have separate goals. So without further ado, let's open up Conflicting Orders. As you can see, this tin is filled to the brim with goodies. The game consists of a rule card, 3 board setup cards, double-sided. It then has a set of game board cards, a set of goal cards, and a set of calamity cards. There are also 3 dice and 3 meeples and 50 cubes, of which there are 5 different types. So let's get the game set up. So the first thing you do is you roll a d6 and you take the number on that die and you find the number that aligns with that for the board setup. You then shuffle the game board cards, shuffle the goal cards, and shuffle the calamity cards. You then sort out the cubes into their respective piles. And all the gold together, all the silver together. All the copper together. All the crystal together, and all the ruby together. Okay, and then you set up the game board according to the card that was flipped over. And you will see that these cards consist of a total of 8 different kinds of cards. There are 3 different break rooms for the different colors. And then there are 5 of each ore type. Then each of the players would get dealt 4 goal cards, and the goal cards are broken down into 4 different types of sets. So there are single ore types, 2 ore, 3 ore, and then 4 ore. And the 4 ore have the 5th ore counts as negative points for that set. So each player will be dealt 4 of these. And they will also be dealt 2 calamity cards. They'll then look at their 4 goals and discard down to just 2. So once both players have discarded their goals, they then each roll a d6, and the highest number will go first. Each of the meeples then get placed in their break room, and that is where they will start the game. Player's turn consists of rolling all 3 of the dice, and then selecting 2 of these dice to which they want to move the meeples with the associated colors. So I would move green 1, and I would move blue 4. Now, the only rule with the movement is that you may not bounce back and forth between 2 rooms if there happens to be a set of 4, you may go in a circle. And otherwise, there's no other restrictions. You can have multiple meeples land in the same room. All those movement types are valid. So 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end of each turn, every meeple will gather the resource for the type they're on. So on this turn, I'll gain 2 crystal. The next player would go, and they would roll the dice, and they would choose to move 2 of the workers. So let's say they decide to move the red guy, and they might want to move the green guy. Now, all 3 of these resources then would be gathered. Even though the blue guy was not moved, he still gathers the crystal from where he had originally landed. So the other thing a player can do on their turn is they may play 1 calamity card at any point during their turn prior to collecting resources. For the first 5 calamity cards that are played, you also get to choose to collapse one of the rooms in the mine. The only rule behind this is that you may not disconnect any of the rooms from the mine. For example, if I'd already collapsed this gold, I may not collapse the crystal with the next one because the silver is not reachable. However, I could collapse this other gold because all of the resources are still reachable. And again, that is for just the first 5 calamity cards that are played. So this player is going to go again. This time they're going to move green back to a break room. Now it's not the break room that belongs to green, but it is any break room. And whenever a meeple moves to a break room, the player gets to draw a new calamity card. And they would draw that at the point when they're gathering resources. So I would gather a crystal and a ruby, and then I would draw a calamity card. Now let's say it's my turn again. I roll the dice, I move a couple meeples, and then before I gain the resources, I may play a calamity card. So I would play this calamity card, and there's 5 different types of calamity cards. I'll play this one called Misidentified Ore, and what that allows me to do is it allows me to take an ore from the store, and that's where we've been gathering all these new ore, and put it back in the supply, and take a ore from the supply and put it in the store. And then I would collect the resources for the meeples for the location that they're at. Play continues in this manner until 1 of the 5 resources no longer have any ore in the supply. At which point the game ends. Each player reveals their goals and adds up their score for each of their goals. Now the way the score is calculated is you count each ore separately for each goal. So in this case where I need to get silver, copper, ruby, right now there's no copper. Let's say there were a few copper out here. I would say I have 2 complete sets. So that would be worth 8 points. The other goal says I need sets of copper, silver, ruby, and crystal. And in this case, I still have 2 complete sets because I get to count the ruby and the other resources a second time. And there's no gold, but I would then get 10 points from that for a total score of 18 points. And that is Conflicting Orders. Thank you for watching.